The ending of Office Romance brings together everything the movie has been building toward from the beginning. The conflict between ambition and happiness, professional success and personal connection, and the fear of vulnerability after heartbreak. At first glance, the movie looks like a classic romantic comedy ending where the couple reunites at the last minute. But beneath the humor and grand gesture, the movie is really about Jackie learning that success means very little if she never allows herself to be loved. The relationship between Jackie and Daniel is doomed almost from the moment it begins. Jackie is the CEO of Air Cruise, and Daniel is both her employee and the lead attorney, handling a lawsuit that already accuses her of using romantic relationships to gain business advantages. Their relationship creates exactly the kind of scandal her enemies are looking for. When Falcon Airlines obtains photographs proving they're together, Jackie realizes she's trapped. If the photos become public, the board could remove her as CEO. Worse, it would seem to confirm the accusations being used against her in court. That's why she ends the relationship. The breakup is not because Jackie stops loving Daniel. It happens because she believes protecting Air Cruise requires sacrificing her personal happiness. Throughout the film, Jackie constantly puts the company before herself, and this is simply the biggest example of that mindset. When Daniel hands Jackie his resignation letter, it seems like a practical decision. Officially, he's removing himself from a conflict of interest, but emotionally, the resignation represents something much bigger. Daniel has spent the entire movie believing Jackie matters more than his own ambitions. Unlike Jackie, he's not obsessed with building an empire or proving himself to the world. His priorities are much simpler. By resigning, Daniel is essentially telling Jackie that she's more important than the job. Ironically, Jackie cannot fully understand this because she spent her entire life measuring worth through achievement and professional success. One of the most important scenes in the movie has nothing to do with romance. For years, Jackie has been trying to earn validation from her father, Captain Jack Cruise. Everyone views her as the founder's daughter rather than the person who actually transformed Air Cruise into a major airline. No matter how successful she becomes, she still feels like she's fighting to prove herself. That frustration explodes during their confrontation. Jackie finally says what she's been carrying for years. She saved the company, expanded it, and built its success, yet her father never openly acknowledges it. The argument forces Captain Jack to recognize something he's avoided admitting. Air Cruise is no longer his achievement, it's hers. This moment matters because Jackie finally stops defining herself through her father's approval. After leaving for a prestigious Manhattan law firm, Daniel realizes he made the wrong choice. Earlier in the film, Daniel describes himself as someone focused on survival rather than grand dreams, yet Jackie changes that outlook. For the first time, he finds something worth risking everything for. When Jackie prepares to resign, Daniel understands exactly what is happening. She's about to sacrifice herself for the company in the same way she sacrificed parts of herself her entire life. His decision to run back to New Jersey is his way of refusing to let her face that burden alone. Daniel's confession is intentionally awkward and embarrassing. He admits they had a relationship. He admits he violated company policy. He even reveals the infamous detail about getting an erection the first time he met her. But that awkward honesty is exactly the point. The entire movie is filled with people hiding behind corporate language, legal strategies, public relations, and carefully managed appearances. Daniel abandons all of that. For perhaps the first time in the story, somebody stands in front of the public and tells the complete truth without worrying about the consequences. His speech proves that their relationship was never a business transaction, a power play, or a scandal. It was genuine love. The biggest surprise of the ending is that Jackie decides not to step down. At the start of the press conference, she believes resignation is the only option. But two things change her mind. First, Daniel publicly chooses her over his career. Second, her father finally acknowledges her accomplishments. For years, Jackie believed she had to choose between professional success and personal happiness. The ending shows that this was a false choice. She realizes that being a strong leader does not require emotional isolation. Loving someone doesn't make her weaker or less capable as a CEO. Instead of apologizing for who she is, she embraces both sides of herself. The new workplace dating policy is more than just a comedic ending. Throughout the movie, Air Cruise's zero-tolerance rule reflects Jackie herself. The company culture mirrors her emotional walls. Relationships are treated as liabilities rather than normal human experiences. Once Jackie accepts her own relationship with Daniel, the company changes as well. The flood of employee disclosures becomes a joke, but it also reinforces the film's message that people cannot separate their humanity from their work. Real relationships exist whether corporations acknowledge them or not. The film strongly suggests that Jackie and Daniel get their happy ending. By the final scenes, Jackie remains CEO, Daniel is publicly accepted as her partner, Captain Jack finally respects his daughter, and the company has moved beyond the scandal. Their announcement that they're getting married confirms that they're no longer hiding. More importantly, both characters have changed. Jackie learns that vulnerability is not weakness. Daniel learns that some things are worth taking risks for. At its core, Office Romance is not really about airline lawsuits or workplace scandals. It's about a woman who spent years building a successful company while convincing herself she didn't need anyone, and a man who helped her rediscover the parts of herself she'd locked away after heartbreak. The final message is that achievement alone cannot make someone whole. Success, status, and professional respect matter, but they're not substitutes for love, trust, and genuine connection. By choosing both her career and her relationship instead of sacrificing one for the other, Jackie finally stops living according to other people's expectations and starts living according to what she actually wants. That is the real victory of the ending, and why the movie closes with Jackie and Daniel looking toward a future built not on fear, but on honesty, partnership, and love.